Have you ever felt the frustration of trying to garden in clay soil? It is a common problem for so many gardeners. You buy beautiful new plants, full of hope for the season ahead. You grab your spade, ready to give them a good home in your garden bed. But when you push the spade into the ground, it stops with a thud. The soil is as hard as a brick. You push with all your might, and maybe you manage to chip out a small hole. The ground is sticky when it is wet and rock solid when it is dry. It feels like a battle you can never truly win, a constant struggle against the very earth you want to nurture. This kind of soil can be truly disheartening. Plants struggle to push their roots through the dense, compacted earth. When it rains heavily, water sits on the surface, creating puddles that drown your plant's roots. In the summer heat, the surface cracks and becomes impenetrable, preventing any water from reaching the thirsty roots below. It feels like the soil is working against you at every turn. Many gardeners simply give up, believing their ground is impossible to work with. They might resort to building raised beds on top, just to avoid dealing with the clay underneath. But what if there was another way, a simpler way? The disappointment runs deep when you see your plants failing to thrive. Their leaves might turn yellow, their growth might be stunted, and they may never produce the flowers or vegetables you dreamed of. You have put in the time, the effort, and the money, yet the results are poor. It is easy to blame yourself, to think you are a bad gardener. But the problem is not you. It is the structure of the soil. The clay particles are so tiny and packed so tightly together that there is no space for air, water, or life. It is a suffocating environment for most plants. I have seen this struggle in countless gardens over the years. People come to me feeling defeated, holding up a clump of dense grey clay as if it is evidence of a crime. They tell me stories of broken spade handles and aching backs. They have tried everything they can think of, from adding sand, which can make it worse, like making concrete, to endlessly digging and turning the soil, but the clay always seems to win, returning to its hard, lifeless state. This is where we need to change our thinking. We don't need to fight the clay. We need to understand it and work with it in a gentle, more intelligent way. The natural instinct, when faced with hard, compacted soil, is to dig it. We think that by breaking it up, we are helping. We believe that turning it over will make it looser and fluffier. For a very short time, it might even feel that way. You can break up the big clumps, and it looks better for a day or two. However, this is one of the biggest mistakes you can make with clay soil. Digging, especially with a rototiller or extensive spade work, actually destroys the very structure you are trying to improve. It is a temporary fix that creates a much bigger long-term problem for your garden beds. When you dig or till clay, you are breaking up the natural aggregates and passages that soil life has created. You are pulverizing the soil into even finer particles. When the next heavy rain comes, these tiny particles wash together and settle into a dense, impermeable layer. The result is a surface that is even more compacted than before. You have essentially created a hard pan, a concrete-like slab just below the surface. This process also brings dormant weed seeds to the surface, where they can joyfully sprout, creating more work for you. Digging is a cycle of destruction that makes the clay worse year after year. Furthermore, digging and tilling disrupt the delicate web of life that exists within the soil. You are disturbing the homes of earthworms, beneficial fungi, and countless microorganisms that are essential for healthy soil. These creatures are your greatest allies in the fight against compaction. Earthworms create tunnels that aerate the soil and improve drainage. Mycorrhizal fungi form symbiotic relationships with plant roots, helping them access nutrients and water. When you dig, you tear apart these networks, kill the organisms, and set your soil's ecosystem back to square one. You're effectively firing your best workers. So you end up with soil that has poor structure, no air pockets, and a depleted community of soil life. This is why digging feels like a never-ending chore. Each time you do it, you are ensuring that you will have to do it again. The soil does not learn to support itself. It becomes dependent on your constant intervention. It is an exhausting and counterproductive process. To truly heal clay soil, we must abandon the spade and the tiller. We must stop thinking about breaking the soil apart and start thinking about how we can invite life back into it to do the work for us. There is a much simpler, more effective approach, one that has been used for generations by wise farmers and gardeners like the Amish. Their secret is beautifully simple. They feed the soil from the top down. Instead of trying to force the soil into submission through digging and tilling, they work with nature. They understand that healthy soil is not a sterile medium, but a living, breathing ecosystem. Their method is not about fighting the clay, it is about giving the soil life, what it needs to thrive. When the soil life is happy, it does all the hard work of improving the soil for you. This approach is what I call no-dig. It is based on the fundamental principle that soil improves when we stop disturbing it and start adding organic matter to the surface. Think about how a forest floor works. Nobody goes into a forest to dig or till the soil. Leaves, twigs, and other organic materials fall to the ground and decompose on the surface. Worms and microbes pull this material down into the soil, creating a rich, dark, and fertile layer of humus. This is nature's own method of soil creation, and it is incredibly powerful. We can replicate this same process in our own gardens. The Amish method focuses entirely on surface application. You are not trying to mix anything into the clay. Instead, you are creating a new, living layer on top of the clay. This top layer becomes the home for your plant's roots. It is full of air, water, and nutrients. Over time, the life within this layer, the worms, the beetles, the fungi, the bacteria, will begin to work its way down into the hard clay below. They are the true soil cultivators. They break up the compaction, create drainage channels, and slowly but surely transform the dense clay into a richer, more workable soil. This shift in perspective is the key to success. You are no longer a fighter battling against the earth. You become a nurturer, a caretaker of the soil's ecosystem. Your job is not to dig, but to feed. You provide the raw materials, the organic matter, and the soil life does the rest. This method saves your back, saves your time, and most importantly, it builds a genuinely healthy and resilient soil structure that will last. It is a partnership with nature, and it is a partnership that always yields incredible results for your garden and plants. The first step in this Amish-inspired process is to wake up the dormant life in your clay soil. Think of it as, well, sending out an invitation to all the beneficial microbes. The best way to do this is with a simple, sweet mixture. All you need is some unsulfured blackstrap molasses, warm water, and a watering can. Molasses is a fantastic food source for microorganisms. It is packed with sugars, which provide a quick burst of energy, as well as essential minerals like calcium, magnesium, and iron. It is like giving your soil a vitamin shot and a sugary treat all at once. To make the mixture, you do not need to be overly precise. A good rule of thumb is to mix about 1 cup of blackstrap molasses into a 5-gallon bucket of warm water. The warm water helps the thick molasses dissolve more easily. Stir it well until the molasses is completely mixed into the water. The resulting liquid will be a dark, sweet-smelling tea. This simple concoction is the catalyst that will kick-start the entire process of soil transformation. It is an incredibly cheap and effective way to stimulate the microbial activity that has been lying dormant in your compacted clay soil. Once your molasses mixture is ready, simply water your clay soil with it. Use a watering can to apply it evenly over the entire surface of the garden bed you want to improve. Do not worry about digging it in or anything like that. Just pour it right on top of the hard ground. The idea is to send a signal deep into the soil. The sugars will seep down into the cracks and crevices, reaching the bacteria and fungi that have been struggling to survive. This sudden feast will cause their populations to explode, and this is exactly what you want to happen. This initial boost of microbial activity is a critical step. These microorganisms are the engines of the soil food web. As they multiply, they begin to produce sticky substances that bind tiny clay particles together into larger aggregates. This is the very beginning of creating good soil structure. These microbes also start to break down organic matter, releasing nutrients in a form that plants can use. By giving them this initial molasses treat, you are preparing the ground for the next, even more important step, adding layers of organic material for them to feast on for a long time to come. After you have awakened the microbes with the molasses mixture, it is time to give them a proper meal. This is where we create the layers of life on top of the clay. You are going to build a new layer of soil right on the surface. The first layer should be something that breaks down relatively quickly. A thin layer of compost is perfect for this. Spread about 1 or 2 inches of your best homemade compost or good quality store-bought compost directly onto the soil. This layer is full of life and nutrients, and it provides an immediate food source for the microbes you just woke up. On top of the compost, you will add a much thicker layer of organic mulch. This is the main course for your soil life. You have many great options for this layer. You could use shredded leaves, old hay, straw, wood chips, or even grass clippings, just in thin layers so they don't get slimy. The key is to apply it generously. You want a layer that is at least 4 to 6 inches deep. This thick blanket serves multiple purposes. It suppresses weeds, so you will not have to worry about digging them out. It also conserves moisture in the soil, protecting it from the drying sun and wind. This thick mulch layer is the long-term food supply for your soil. Earthworms and other organisms will come up from the clay below to feast on the decomposing organic matter at the boundary between the compost and the mulch. As they travel up and down, they create vertical channels through the dense clay. These channels are vital. They allow air to penetrate the soil, they let water drain away from the surface, and they create pathways for plant roots to follow. The worms are your tiny plows, and they work for free 24 hours a day. All you have to do is keep them fed with surface mulch. For an extra boost, you can add what is called a compost tea. This is not for drinking, but for your soil. You can make it by steeping a bag of good compost in a bucket of water for a day or two, perhaps with an aquarium pump to add oxygen. This liquid is teeming with beneficial microbes. Watering your mulch layers with this tea inoculates the entire area with even more life, accelerating the decomposition process. This combination of a sweet starter, a compost layer, and a thick mulch topping creates the perfect environment for nature to begin its healing work on your hard clay soil. It is important to understand why this gentle, layered approach is so superior to the old method of tilling. Many people believe that a rototiller is a gardener's best friend, especially for dealing with clay. They see it as a powerful tool to break up compacted ground quickly. However, a tiller is one of the most destructive tools you can use on clay soil. The fast-spinning tines pulverize the soil structure, breaking down any existing aggregates into dust. This is the exact opposite of what you want to achieve. You are creating a finer, more uniform soil texture that will compact even more severely after the first rain. Tilling also creates something called a plow pan or tiller pan. This is a hard, compacted layer that forms just below the depth of the tiller's tines. As the machine churns the soil above, its weight and vibration compact the soil just beneath it. This impenetrable layer acts as a barrier, preventing water from draining and blocking plant roots from growing any deeper. So while the top few inches might seem fluffy for a short while, you have actually created a much worse problem just out of sight. Plants in tilled beds often have shallow root systems and are more susceptible to drought because they cannot access moisture deeper in the soil. The ecological damage from tilling is immense. It is a violent act against the soil community. It shreds the delicate thread-like networks of mycorrhizal fungi that are crucial for nutrient uptake in plants. It slices earthworms to pieces and destroys the burrows they have carefully created. Tilling exposes the soil to the air, causing a rapid oxidation of organic matter. This means the carbon that was stored in the soil is released into the atmosphere as carbon dioxide. You are literally burning through your soil's fertility and releasing greenhouse gases every time you till the ground. In contrast, the no-dig surface mulching method protects and enhances the soil ecosystem. By leaving the soil undisturbed, you allow the worms and microbes to do their work. You preserve the fungal networks. You allow organic matter to build up slowly and stably, creating a rich, dark humus that holds water and nutrients. The soil structure improves naturally from the top down, without the creation of a hard pan. No-dig gardening is a quieter, gentler, and far more effective way to garden. It builds soil health for the long term, rather than destroying it for a short-term cosmetic fix. How will you know that this method is working? The signs of transformation are clear and often appear much faster than you might expect. The first thing you will notice is the change in the surface layer. The mulch you applied will begin to break down. If you gently pull back a section of the mulch after a few weeks or months, you will see a dark, crumbly layer forming on top of the clay. This is humus in the making. You will also likely see a network of fine, white threads, which are the beneficial fungi. and you will almost certainly find earthworms busy at work. The next sign is how the soil handles water. Before, a heavy rain would create puddles that sat on the surface for hours. Now, with the worm channels and improved structure, the water will soak in much more quickly. Your garden will become more resilient to both heavy rain and drought. During dry spells, the mulch layer will protect the soil beneath, keeping it moist and cool. You will find yourself needing to water your plants far less often than you used to. The soil will be acting like a sponge, holding on to moisture and releasing it slowly to your plants as they need it. The most satisfying test is the spade test. After 6 months or even a year, try pushing a spade or a garden fork into the ground where you applied the layers. You will be amazed at the difference. Where the spade once stopped with a jarring thud, it will now slide in with relative ease. You will be able to feel the transition from the newly created topsoil into the now softening clay below. The clay itself will start to change in color, becoming darker as the organic matter is pulled down into it. It will be more crumbly and less sticky. This is your black gold. Ultimately, the best proof is in the health of your plants. In this new living soil, your plants will thrive. Their roots can now travel deep into the ground, accessing more water and nutrients. You will see stronger growth, greener leaves, and more abundant flowers and harvest. You have stopped fighting the clay and have instead created a vibrant ecosystem that supports and nurtures your plants. I encourage you to try this simple method on a small patch of your worst clay soil. The results will speak for themselves. You will see how easy it is to work with nature and turn that frustrating clay into the beautiful fertile garden soil you have always wanted.